Why has this guy gotta stop so hard? You didn't have to stop like that. Crazy, dude. My brakes should probably just be better. Almost thought I had to dodge him. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Alright, so we're doing a little bit more work to the Dyna because you are never really finished when you are finished a project. There's no such a thing. So we're actually going to do a bit of work just to kind of make the Dyna a little more road worthy or like travel worthy for me. We're going to ditch the 2-up seat that I've got that I'm never going to use, and we're putting a solo seat on it. And right now that's what we're working on. So we're gonna make this solo seat fit the frame, and we don't wanna do any like drilling or welding on the actual structure of the frame. And the seat that we've got isn't actually meant to fit these Dyna frames, but we're gonna make it fit just simply by using the tab that you already have on the Dyna frame. So this is like this for the stock seat. They kind of slide in underneath of this tab. They've got a little slot under the seat there, and then it kind of just latches onto this tab and it secures with a screw on the rear fender. So right now you can see we've kind of got things kind of rigged up here a little bit, and that's because we're going to be doing a little bit of work on this tab here. So we've already center punched it. I'm going to be drilling a couple of holes where I've center punched it, and what we've got is we've just got a couple pieces of aluminum here just kind of supporting this tab, and that's what you want to do. First of all, if you're center punching on it, because you don't want your center punch just bouncing off of the tab, because the tab's gonna flex as soon as you impact it with a hammer and a center punch, but you also don't want to bend that tab either. So we've just got a couple pieces of aluminum here supporting it for the center punching. Another thing too, guys, you can see we've got a couple pieces of aluminum in here. So we actually tapped this thinner chunk of aluminum. We tapped that in with a hammer just so that it's nice and wedged in there and it's not going to fall out, hopefully, while I'm drilling. And I'm actually up on the bench because I'm not tall enough to stand beside the bench and be able to look down on what I'm doing. And I want to make sure I get these holes in here straight. So that's all lined up nicely. Now that's going to be bolted just exactly how it is. And then I'm actually using this hinge here that I think is actually just from like a kitchen cupboard or something like that. And this hinge is going to be welded to this part here. And since my tank is all rigid mounted or solid mounted, and there's nothing's rubber mounted here, I don't need too much clearance on the tank here. So yeah, it's going to work out pretty good. So this is going to actually be welded to the tab here that I've got now, and then the seat's going to be attached to the other end of it here, or the other side of it, and then it's going to just hinge open that solo seat that I've got. Alright guys, so we got our hinge all welded up onto here, and it's just kind of loosely, not even bolted to the frame, it's just kind of sitting in there with a couple bolts. And then we just made one other piece that we're going to actually use to attach the seat to this. So we're going to be welding this onto the hinge here. And then this will actually bolt to the seat, or the seat will bolt to this anyway. Alright guys, so this is the hinge all finished up, and it's all done being welded. We just got to paint it so that it doesn't rust. As you can see, the seat is bolted to it. So now one thing we've got is we got these two knobs on the pan of the seat here, and they just kind of sit down in between the frame tubes, which isn't really ideal. So what we're doing right now is we're making a support so that the seat, rather than having those two knobs there, sit between the frame. We want the seat to be resting on the top of the frame. So right now we're making a bit of a support for that. So this is the support bracket that we're making to fit under the seat there, and my dad's just sawing out the last hole. We've got our little half hole there on that side, and I'm just doing this one here. Alright guys, so I got the parts for the seat all painted up, just had to leave them to dry overnight, but it's all mounted on and it's finished. Yeah, this is our homemade hinge. The seat's probably not going to be permanent because the seat's actually for that FX project that my dad and I are going to be starting on soon. Okay, so as you guys can see, that little bracket that we were working on the drill press there actually just sits on the bottom of the seat. These threaded bits were already on the seat, so we just had to find some bolts to fit, and then we got that chunk of angle iron and just cut our half holes. We made sure that the half holes were the same size, kind of diameter or whatever, as the frame posts, so it just sits over top of the frame there. You can kind of see it. It's kind of hard to get a good picture of that, but if I lift this up, you'll see how it just sits like that. It just kind of fits in the frame there. And that just helps to prevent the seat from moving side to side on the frame when it's actually sitting down, so you're not sliding around on there. And then that's the hinge there. So we just got that old cupboard hinge and just welded a couple chunks of metal onto it, bolted to the seat and bolted to the frame, and then we trimmed the hinge up there on the top, and now I've got a nice hinging solo seat. Okay guys, so I've got my seat on, and we did a couple other things to the bike. We just double checked the alignment on the rear wheel, which it was out a little teensy weensy bit, so it's a good thing we did that. And then we also just tightened up my steering neck bearings a little bit, just because that was a little loose and it was a little bit wiggly in the corners, going like at highway speeds. It's getting a little wiggly. So I'm just taking it for a little test run and just gonna check and see if it tracks better, which, well, it should. I'm just gonna check and see how it tracks now with that rear wheel aligned and the steering neck all tightened up, and also just want to see how this seat feels. This seat actually puts me a little bit more forward and a little bit higher. It's windy out here. Okay, so it's not going to be a long ride at all. Not going anywhere special. Just gonna go up, find a straight stretch of road to check out how this thing tracks, and don't think I'll be taking any highway corners right now. The seat makes me a little taller, but not too tall. This seat is going to be better anyways because the other seat made my back sore. It's been like a stormy day today. I'm actually planning a little road trip for this weekend, so yeah, I'm going to be going out of town. But I'm just hoping that the weather just doesn't get cold. It's supposed to be warm on Friday when I'm leaving. But yeah, it was also supposed to be warm today. So we're going to have to see how it goes. But this isn't my seat. This seat's actually my dad's, and it's for his shovel head. So now let's just see. Seems to be a bit better. just, I don't know if it's perfect, so I'm gonna have to see. I think I might have been leaning over when I did that, so I'll have to check once we get past these lights up here. I like riding with no hands. I like being able to. I don't like having a bike that can't do that with. Once I start going down this little hill, be able to keep my momentum up. My guy on his little Kawasaki is just like ripping. Everyone, okay, doing this in traffic is just not ideal. And red lights and traffic and everything that I don't need. Oh, dummies on the road. Get past the dummies. Everyone's just ready to get past that guy. There we go. Still kind of wants to pull over to one side. Find a flatter chunk of road. Doesn't lean. Well, it's also, the wind is also blowing me over. Seems a lot better actually. It was kind of pulling over to that side before, but right now I can't tell if it's the wind. It really feels like it's the wind blowing me over. Go back the other way and see if it blows me the other way. Super windy out today. Gonna do a U-turn up here. Traffic behind me, red light. Still wants to pull me over. I gotta like lean the opposite direction. that would be that would make it do that, other than like an alignment thing. Try it out one more time, going back down Glenmore Road. Try it out one more time, see how it feels. See, it feels not bad. It does make me a little bit higher off the ground, but it's not really even noticeably higher. I think it more just pushes me forward. It pushes me forward more than anything, which isn't a bad thing, since I'm so short. Sometimes I wonder what it would be like to just be one of those perfect height people, perfect stature, where everything is made for people your size. Somewhere between 5 feet tall and 6 feet tall, I think. Definitely not 5'2" though, because I feel way too short for everything still. Most things. Why has this guy gotta stop so hard? You didn't have to stop like that, crazy dude. My brakes should probably just be better. Straighter than it did. Not straight enough. And I feel like this wind blowing at me is probably not helping. Up this way. A little bit annoying that it doesn't track straight. Really quite annoying, actually, because I really like having a bike that tracks straight.
I really like taking my hands off my bars because it's fun. Yeah, it got like really cold here, like immediate. It was like almost as soon as August hit, it just got cold. I think we had like a week of hot weather, and it was just like hot, like normal hot August weather. But now it's just like October. This is like the kind of weather we would be getting like near the end of September, October, like kind of weather. Like it's only like 20 degrees out right now, and that's like the high today. The high is like 20 degrees Celsius, which like we have like normally I would have like a normal 20 degree days till like the middle of October, and normally August is like 30, 35, like hot. But like I'm okay with it not being that hot because I don't like it when it's that hot, but I'm not okay with it being like fall suddenly in August. Like not okay with that. But I can't change the weather. Alright, all I can do is change my jacket and change out of my shorts. Like I'm wearing my jacket in town. It's crazy. I should be riding in a t-shirt still. And a vest. Not because I need a vest, but because I like it because it has pockets. Well guys, the seat turned out. I'm pretty sure that the steering neck is better now, but this tracking, my driveway's all messed up because my downstairs neighbor doesn't know how to drive. Well, we're back, so I'll see you guys inside to say goodbye. Actually, I'll do it right here. I don't need to be inside because I've already got a camera on. So the seat was a success. Now, yeah, hopefully that helped you guys out. If anybody wants to try to move if anybody wants to try to put a different seat on their Dyna that doesn't fit the stock seat clamp or seat tab or whatever, then now maybe that gave you some ideas for what you guys can try out. Mine worked out. I think it looks really good. Unfortunately, it's not my seat, so I probably won't be able to keep it, but it'll give me time maybe to look for a seat like this and be able to just use this bracket or this hinge that we made and just put it on there. And here's the bird. Oh, baby, it's okay. He's been flying around a lot, actually, just like enjoying his bird life. He really loves just being able to get out. But guys, that's it. Unfortunately, the bike does not track like it should. Yeah, maybe there's something more we'll be able to do about that, but we're gonna have to see. I guess I'll have to ask my dad about that one because I'm not familiar with, doing those kind of adjustments yet. But other than that, it was a nice ride. A little bit colder than I would like, but that's all right. And yeah, I'm glad you guys could come with me. And like always, guys, if you like what you see, or if you just like me, or even if you don't like me but you like my bikes, then like this video, comment, subscribe, share, do all those things that you guys do. And like always, my lovely YouTube people, I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Peace. You could have made that light. Like amber's not red, it's just like a stop, maybe if you think you need to.